What up, guys? I just finished my second round of the second tournament. I shot 78, and yesterday I shot 75, so I'm going to miss the cut. Obviously not happy, but I want to force myself to rebound quicker and collect my thoughts quicker, just like a true PGA Tour player would have to do for a post-round press conference. Whether they played good or bad, they got to immediately step and answer questions. And that shows definitely a level of maturity and emotional stability and self-regulation to be able to do that. And I may not be at the PGA Tour yet, but I want to start replicating the way that those guys carry themselves in as many ways as possible, because it may not seem like a big deal, but it does get into the core of your mind, and slowly but surely you upgrade the way you view yourself, and then that's how you perform to a higher level. So with that being said, quick breakdown of the round. It rained on us for the first 11 or 12 holes, which was obviously a bit annoying. I would say that got in the way of a few strokes here and there, and it stopped. The whole afternoon wave isn't going to have rain, and that's golf. It depends on if you have the morning or afternoon wave. Sometimes you have different conditions. Oh well. I needed a low one today. I probably needed to shoot 6 under to make the cut, and I wasn't going out thinking that. I just wanted to play good golf. I'm totally in it for the long haul right now. I feel really confident that the things I'm doing outside of golf, branding myself and marketing myself and starting to partner with brands and agencies, I'm confident that all that hard work I'm putting in is going to have me set up in a position where I can continue playing for a long time. And the pressure might be slowly, taken off of me, that if I don't make it this summer, it's done, the golf dream is over, or you're out of money. That's kind of always how it's felt, which is how it is for a lot of guys. And it's not the easiest place to play your best golf from and free up. And right now, my number one goal with everything golf related is to just let go, play free, find some flow. I know I'm so much more of a natural athlete than my golf scores have showed my entire career, and that's 100% mental. It's 100% standing in my own way, not having the confidence that I should have, and I don't want to do that anymore. I want to free up. I want to let go. I want to stop thinking that there's so much pressure on every single shot and every single tournament, because there's an obvious disconnect between a practice round when I shoot under par more than half the time, or a tournament round where I definitely don't do that. And you start to go to the drawing board and question, okay, why? And it's obviously mentality. The conditions aren't that different in a tournament versus a practice round. Sometimes, yeah, the pins and the greens and the rough, but for the most part, it's in my headspace. So anyway, the front side I shot 4 over, the back side I shot 2 over, but the front side, it was putting. I 3-putted a couple times today, and I missed a couple short ones. Stepped out of the gates with a birdie. Second hole, great drive. I thought I was in the middle of the fairway. The course is playing different, though, because it was rainy and heavier air, so I wound up right behind a tree, even though it was the exact line I tried to hit. Couldn't hit the green from there, chipped it to 3 feet, missed the putt. I can remember my last 20 rounds before leaving home, maybe missing 2 3-footers and maybe a handful more inside of 5 feet, but feeling really solid on the putts that it's hard to play professional golf if you don't make damn near all of them. And all of a sudden out here, it's I've missed quite a few, and to me that points to a lot more pressure on myself over the ball, don't miss it, rather than in practice rounds, there's really no consequence for missing anyway, but obviously that changes your headspace and you make more free strokes. And on the practice putting green, I'm obviously not going to miss those putts very much, so that's given me something to work on, trying to free up and let go and stop having that don't miss mentality on shorter putts. I 3-putted the very next hole and the hole after that, so short miss, and then 2 3-putts in a row. Granted, they were from above the pin, and it started raining kind of hard on us. My putter grip was slippery. I left the windows in my car down last night because it's normally been really hot weather. Not all the way down, but cracked. But it rained hard last night, and so my golf clubs in the back got pretty wet, and so my grips were wet. Didn't even realize that until I got to the range this morning. I was panicking, trying to dry them, and the putter grip held the most water. So I could go on and on about things that I think had slight effects on the way I played. And yeah, all together, cumulatively, it did make a difference, but there still was something subtly different about the way I played today than how I can play, and that's frustrating. I want to work through that. That's why I'm making this video, both for you guys and for myself, to try to air out what I think happened. So obviously that's not a good feeling. Go like birdie and then bogey double and it's raining and I didn't have any room to make mistakes anyway. But even more than that, I just want to play like some regular rounds of golf. I just want to get some under my belt out here that feel like, okay, that was a solid round of golf. There wasn't any of this like really stupid, like, oh, a bunch of 3-putts, or like, oh man, I'm bogeying all these par 5s and flubbing chips from around the green and weird rough lies. Like, golf just feels hard right now, you know, and I want to get past that. I want to throw a couple rounds under my belt that are under par and kind of cruise, because that's the type of golf that I would like to play all summer, and the best guys out here do play that kind of golf. It doesn't seem like there's really any struggle or effort to shoot 5, 6, 7 under on just about any course, and I know I'm capable of that. A lot of the guys doing that are way younger and less experienced than me, and so again, it's just subtle like mindset upgrades that I'm working on. This isn't, I think I do need to remember that I just came back, right? Like, it's not like, oh man, you've been grinding at this for years and it's always been the same way, so you need to change your process because clearly it's not working. It's like, no, I just restarted my process 2 months ago for the first time in 2 years. And really, I just restarted the process 13 days ago when I finally hit the road and came out here, because prior to that, it was almost all about like the planning. How am I going to get out here? How is it going to be paid for? So I think I need to give myself a little more credit than I'm giving myself. That's going to be a recurring theme. I'm always my own, harshest critic. And this summer, one of my goals is to treat myself as my own player. Like, I'm caddying for myself. I'm my own best friend. Like, have that kind of self-talk rather than the typical golf self-talk, which is really negative and really harsh and critical on yourself. So I'm doing fine. I'm doing better than I think I'm doing. It's aggravating, yes, that the rounds are going the other direction rather than getting better, which is surprising because now I've played 4 competitive rounds out here. We've gone 74, 75, 75, 78, and I feel like I'm obviously practicing more, and I feel like I'm applying energy to things that are going to get me better at golf, and I'm getting more sleep, and I'm staying healthy, and I've got more workouts in. Like, everything should, in my opinion, be trending more towards better scores, not worse. And sometimes that is just golf. Sometimes there is no direct correlation between how you feel and how you score. And I think this tournament was kind of an indicator of that. Like, yesterday, I know I made a recap video. You guys might not have all seen it, but a couple wonky, weird things with just being slightly in the wrong spots around the greens. This course basically is tight fairways. It's hard to hit the fairways. It's going to be rare to hit from the fairway more than half the time. And the rough, especially today being wet, that makes a pretty big difference. It's already like jumpy, hard to predict rough, and then having wet rough lies, it just makes it like you're hitting at greens not really understanding exactly what your ball is going to do. So a lot of my good swings this tournament did not work out, or more than didn't work out. They worked out terribly. And then the finessey shots around the greens are not straightforward here. And the greens obviously got quicker each day, and pins were tougher each day. So just found myself in a lot of spots where I was like, man, this is pretty tough. Like, I'm not hot-headed, and I'm not losing my temper. I'm really trying my best here, and this is just, I'm not getting a lot of birdie looks, and I'm fighting for par quite a bit. So anyway, I don't want to do the whole shot by shot today, but I didn't feel like I could make putts. The cup looks small. Didn't really make anything. Only had 2 birdies. And that makes it pretty, your rounds are really laggy and aggravating when they're like that, when you don't really have any offsetting scores to take care of some of the mistakes that you make. And I also don't have much club face control. My irons, it's missing both ways, and I don't have much low point control. Some are thin, some are fat, which is weird because it almost feels like, I feel like my body moves the club better than it was 2 weeks ago. I've had more consistent practice now. But I'm not sure if it's quite the right timing yet for me to adopt this mentality of like, just let go, no swing thoughts. Like, I was really high on that train last week after missing the cut and talking with Kyle and feeling like, man, you're just guiding the ball around and you need to let go. Your swing's probably fine. I still like that mentality, but it seems to just really settle me down when I've got something in my swing, like a feel in my swing that's helping me produce the ball flight that I want to see, and I don't have that. And so just looking at targets but still having no clue really where the ball is going to go or what I'm going to do to try to get it there, it's tough. And maybe I need to just work harder at it, and maybe this is exactly the progression that should be happening when I start committing to letting go and being more free and not having swing thoughts. Maybe you do just get a lot worse before you get better, because it's an uncomfortable thing to just be looking up in the clouds and trying to visualize your ball going there, especially for me, rather than what I've always done, which is like I'm thinking about my golf swing right before I hit the shot. And I've played some of my best golf that way. But I think what I'd like to work towards in the future, and George has always told me this, is having it broken up into segments. Like, you have swing thoughts that you practice on the range and stuff, and then you take a feel to the golf course, 1 or 2 feels. You can rehearse that in your practice swings. Then you separate from the swing thought or swing feel portion of your pre-shot routine, and you tap in to visualizing the shot you're trying to hit, the shot shape, trajectory, yardage, the ball flying through the air, and then you just totally clear out and get super present and hit the shot. That doesn't just happen on the course by just trying it, right? Like, you got to practice that in practice rounds and on the driving range. And I just had the idea 5 days ago that I wanted to start trending towards this. So I guess, no shit, I don't have it down yet. Like, it's going to take some time, but I did think I had a lot more game in the tank this week. I think this should have been no problem to make the cut. I think I am just starting to stand in my own way and make golf seem a lot harder than it is. And I think all it is just like one good stretch of holes, one good stretch of swings and putts through 6 holes or 9 holes or something like that, to kind of like, slap myself upside the face and remind myself, like, bro, you got this. Like, you're the shit, man. This is not that big of a deal, bro. This ain't no US Open. Like, these are not courses that are going to continually force you to shoot over par. Like, we're going deep out here all summer. I'm not going to miss all these cuts like I've done in the past. Like, you're going to be a competitive player this summer. Your head is screwed on 1,000 times straighter than it's ever been in your whole life. You're physically fit as shit. Like, this is the healthiest you've ever been. You're busting your ass working at every single component of self-improvement: physical, mental, spiritual, mindset, golf. You've got all these great mentors and support systems, and that's only growing. Like, it's just an obvious, like, overwhelming yes that this is going to be the best summer of golf in my life. And I think I'm just a little antsy, a little anxious, a little in a hurry for that to happen. Probably because I want to feel validated, and that's the ego speaking. I want to, prove that I've got all these eyes on me, and that's only going to increase. And of course that's pressure, but I want that. And it shouldn't matter. Like, I know I'm doing every single part of my process that's important to me, and that's all that I should be caring about. And as long as I'm happy with myself and the effort I put in, fuck the rest, right? Instead, the egotistical side of me, which we all have, and that, needy, seeking validation side and wanting other people to tell you that you're good, and because you're not sure if you're good, like, that whole side of me is in a hurry to make a cut. Yeah, straight up, I've never made a cut out here. I've only made 1 cut in my whole career. So, of course, that's a big fucking deal to me. I know that the goal of the whole series is to win, but realistically, we got to walk before we can run and go from point A to B to C. And there's a lot of points I need to hit before a win is going to be realistic for me. It doesn't mean it couldn't happen any given week, but I'm in a hurry to cross things off the list and goals that I have, and that's just not the way to do it. I can remember, without even pulling the video up, I remember saying it 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago when I first got out here, that was the way I was going to approach the summer, was being patient, slowing things down, doing less than I think I need to do each day, and just not overwhelming myself or overworking myself, giving myself time to recover, enjoying this whole journey and not trying to skip to the destination, appreciating the fact that this is a journey and there are going to be lots of hard moments, and that is the whole point. That's why I'm doing this, is so that I have things to sharpen my, resiliency and ability to bounce back and ability to, overcome obstacles. Like, those are all great qualities and skills to develop, and I want that. And so why would I want it to just be this like cakewalk to the finish line? I see other people doing it like that, so you want to compare yourself and be like, man, why can't I just be like player X or player Y? Like, It seems so easy for them. They shoot 7 under every fucking time they tee it up, like, and I know for a fact they're not like as obsessed with self-improvement and all these other areas that feed into golf as I am. Like, it's not fair, but one, you don't know the backstory. You didn't watch what they did the last 20 years, and maybe cumulatively they outworked you. Or two, don't compare yourself to others anyway, because you're you and they're them, and that's their journey and this is your journey, so it's none of your business how they're performing. So anyway, could go on and on and on forever and ever, but I got a lot more stuff to do today. I just wanted to make some kind of a recap video. It's probably way too long. As always, that's pretty on brand for me. And yep, I'll throw it up on IGTV and YouTube later. Thank you guys for all the support. I'm going to keep going. Don't you worry about that. And I love you all. Take care.